a minute, literally a minute. Don't get too
Of a pause.
yeah, a minute where we're all just sitting here. So it's nice to have the conversation and then join in. So hello, happy wet Wednesday.
I know.
The rain is coming down this morning, so that's all right. We are indoors, so that's good. Welcome to our live Healthy You podcast. I'm Kim Martin, owner of Curves. This is Mellisa Maubach. She's our manager at Curves. So glad to have you with me here
Thank
today,
you.
Mellisa.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes. You know, this is one of my favorite topics. I like to talk about curves all day long. It is our goal every week on Healthy You to share different topics, though, to give you different information to help you live a healthy lifestyle. Living a healthy lifestyle is one of those it's very difficult a lot of times if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle working for you. And just the more information you can have, the more motivation, the more resources, options, and choices, it makes it a little bit easier.
It's one of the best things you'll ever do, but one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
Why is it so hard? Why is it that one of the best things, the best thing, I guess not the best, but up there, the best things that you can do for yourself is living a healthy lifestyle, but it's the hardest thing. Why do you think that is? I don't know.
Well, I think just society in general, everything we're bombarded with, just ads from different places, convenience foods, different things like that. And then sometimes it's what we grew up with. And so it's breaking that normal, what we've always known to be normal, how we've cooked, what is considered a snack. It's not a snack cake, it's a snack. It's like an apple and some peanut butter. Like breaking that cycle of where maybe our parents were raised us.
Well, and the food industry tricks us. You just said something that made me think. I'm like, yeah, snack cake. So, when we were growing up, and a lot of you, when you were listening, were growing up, we didn't have the information, the wealth of information about nutrition that we have today and the side effects from it. So if the food industry labeled something a snack cake, then your parents your parents are like, oh, what a great snack for the kids. That's how my mom was anyway. So you're right. I mean, my snacks consisted of Little Debbie snack cakes.
Because they were a snack.
Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which is why I struggled. One reason why I struggled with weight almost all of my life until I found Curves, which is why I'm so passionate. And I think we share that passion.
Yes.
You just posted a picture of us.
I did. Did you like that?
On Facebook. I thought it was a great picture, though. We were at our I Decided Success Gala on Saturday night. So we were all dressed up in our nice dresses. And together, 130 pounds we've lost.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So like I said, we're a product of the product because I don't like to just, act like we know what we're doing. We do know what we're doing. But just to say we know what we're doing.
Right.
To actually have gone through it, done it, and we still go through it. I mean, it's always like, I don't want to say a battle per se because it's way easier under the supported system, but it's always something. It's not like all of a sudden you lose the weight and then you can just stop and go back to whatever you were doing. It just becomes your healthy lifestyle.
Right.
But
it does become easier in time.
Yes.
I think back to when I used to eat pretty much just whatever I wanted to eat anytime I wanted to eat it. And I think, how did I do that? I could sit down and eat 3 or 4 glazed donuts at one time.
And now you feel sick.
And now the thought of even doing that really just makes me go, oh gosh, how did I do that? So you really do change behaviors in time, and it does become easier. But there is a little bit of fire you got to walk through when it
just a wee bit
in the beginning, especially when you start changing those behaviors that you've become so accustomed to. And speaking of what you said, all of the marketing that we see on TV, and we're social by nature, so our lives revolve around eating out and food and
very much so.
Yeah. And so I know a lot of you guys watch when Mary Art Apple's on the second Wednesday of every month with Core View Coach, and she always talks about our relationship with food. She has such a amazing philosophy of how we need to look at food and that relationship. And so sometimes we just eat to be eating.
Yeah.
And that's what we get accustomed to. And we really need to start to learn how to have that relationship. And food is not the enemy.
No.
It's our behavior.
Yeah.
That really is the enemy, and our lack of discipline. Because let's face it, we want what we want.
Yes. And we
you
want it right
what you
now.
Want, right?
And supersized.
Exactly. So, hey, if you're watching this show, we would encourage you to show us some love, give us some comments, ask some questions. I know we love to come back later and answer those questions, and want to do that for you. So let us know you're watching by making a comment, saying hi to Mellisa or myself, asking a few questions, and share it. Let your friends know that we're live and encourage them, or go back later and share the recorded show. That's a great way to get the word out, because we're going to just be talking a little bit today about the pieces of the puzzle. I talk about this all the time at Curves, and really I've shared about it on the show before, and living a healthy lifestyle. But first, we were just talking, about the difference in what do people really want, what they really want.
Yeah, you want it, but how bad do you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it? Like, are you just wanting to take a little pill and the fat just melt away? Well, because that doesn't happen.
Right. Well, it can temporary, but it doesn't stay off.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
And so many side effects.
Yeah.
As well. But then it's how bad do you want it? You walk in the door to somewhere and you're like, I want to join. I want to sign up. I'm going to do this. Okay, well, now what?
Right.
Like, what's going to keep you going? Just to have a gym membership doesn't mean you go to the gym.
Right. And just to have a gym membership doesn't mean you're going to see results. That's what we were just talking about.
Yes.
It's like, do you really want it? Like, you say you want to live a healthy lifestyle, but do you really?
Yeah.
And so if you are ready to truly stick that stake in the ground and make the commitment to turning your life around and becoming healthy and being responsible, really, for how you're treating yourself, then Curves could be a great place.
Oh, yeah. And it follows you all day. Like just this morning, I went through the drive-thru to get a coffee, and I'm like, ooh, a pumpkin latte. I haven't had one yet this year. And I look, and I'm squinting my eyes. I'm like, 450 calories? No way. You've got to be joking. I just ran last night, 30 minutes, 3 miles, and I only burnt like 360.
Right.
I'm
so
like,
one pumpkin latte would take away your 3-mile run.
I know. I'm like, I'd have to run almost 5 miles to burn off that latte. That is not worth it. I just got a plain black coffee and kept on my way.
So it's funny how now that you have that knowledge and you put it into action, it makes perfect sense. You think about it. And that's one of the things I love about Curves, is that we teach our members how to think through the choices that they make.
And not just justify, well, I worked out so I can have whatever I want.
Right. There are lots of places that you can work out. There's lots of fun places. I know I was talking about Mary. She loves yoga. She teaches yoga, and that's awesome. And there's CrossFit and
Pilates.
I love to run, so running. I mean, you can do things at home. There's gyms everywhere. There's swimming. Don't let me forget cycling. Heather, sorry, Heather, if you're watching. We have our I Decided to Ride cycling program. So just so many things that you can do, and we want to encourage you to do something. If you're not, we certainly want you to think about Curves. And I just wanted to go through some of the reasons why we love Curves, why it worked for us, and why we're very passionate about it. We already said together we've lost 130 pounds, right? Yeah. You're like almost 70 and
a little over 60.
A little over 60. And I'm close to 70. And but here's the thing: I've kept my weight off for 12 years. And how long have you kept yours off? 5.
Yeah.
So we're considered. That's long term. That means that in that statistic of how many people.
I think it's 4 to 5 years after you kept, if you kept your weight off, it's considered true weight loss.
Yeah. So it's one thing to lose it. It's another thing to keep it off. So you got to kind of have that balance. And that really is what we want you to know, is that at Curves, even though we can be just a gym, if that's what somebody wants, if you just want a gym membership where no one, you can just come in and work out, and and not be bothered or anything like that, we absolutely can provide that. But really, we provide the whole umbrella. And what we're really good at is weight loss. We really are good at teaching and helping women lose weight and keeping that weight off and educating. And I always say, and this has happened in your family, Mellisa, change the wife, change the mom, change the woman in the home, change the whole family.
Yes, over time, for sure. Little baby steps here and there, changing just tiny things. And you convert everyone.
Your
over
husband,
time.
go ahead and share.
My husband, I'm so proud of him. He always looks awesome anyways, but he looks so good right now and he feels good. So autoimmune, diagnosed also with diabetes, and just overall miserable. And he and I just kind of sat down and made a plan, and he has lost over 60 pounds.
That's amazing.
I know. He looks
so good. And you're right. He's always cute. But we're all cute. Our weight, it's not that our weight changes who we are. So don't think that, because that's not true.
No.
It's about how you feel. Yeah. It's that energy.
Well, he's down 4 pant sizes.
That's amazing.
4 pant sizes. But I notice little changes just hearing him throughout the house. I don't hear him kind of grunting going up and down the stairs anymore.
Right.
When he would get out of bed, it would seem like more of an effort, and it doesn't seem quite as bad.
Right.
Little tiny things like that. He doesn't seem to say, certain things are bothering him, his knees or whatever, quite as badly, because he's not carrying that 60 pounds anymore.
It changes everything. And you're cooking healthy for your whole family.
Yes. Yes.
And we teach you how to cook healthy at Curves so that you can learn what that looks like. And so there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle. In fact, I say there's about 12 ultimately pieces of the puzzle when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle. And that's what we want you to look at it. Look at it kind of like this puzzle, and you think of all these pieces. And if one piece is missing, it messes up the picture a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But if there's 2 or 3 or 4 pieces missing, then the picture really starts to not look that great.
Yeah.
And so that's what happens when you're living a healthy lifestyle. You have to have all these pieces. If you miss one, you may be able to get away with that. But if you start missing 2 or 3, then it doesn't look so good. It becomes even more difficult.
And sometimes when you say 12 pieces, it seems overwhelming. Like, holy cow, I just thought it was 1. And that's enough. But 12, whenever I talk to the girls, I'm like, just take like 1 or 2.
Right.
Conquer that, get that accomplished, and move on. Then you got those already going for you, then work on the next one, So if you got your meal planning going and you've got your workout going, now let's look at how long are you sleeping? Because that's part of the puzzle as well.
Yes.
Well, I'm sleeping 5 hours. Okay, so let's work on that. Let's go to bed 15 minutes early this week, every night.
Yeah.
And then next week, let's go to bed another 15 minutes earlier. Little tiny things like that, and then knock that one out, and then move on to the next one. And as you keep rolling, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I love how you say that. Little baby steps. It's so true. You don't have to change everything. Just each week pick something that's going to make an impact for that week.
Yeah.
Having a regular sleep pattern is a practice of discipline. And when you practice discipline in one area of your life, it rolls over into other areas.
Oh, for sure.
Getting a good sleep pattern down is really important when it comes to living healthy lifestyle. Let's talk about the support at Curves.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Support, accountability, whatever. I was just talking to one of my girls, Nancy, the other day, and she said, she just said, I am so grateful for this. And I said, what? For what? The new challenge that we're doing? She goes, well, no, that. But she said, for just Curves in general. She said, if I didn't have you to come in and weigh in weekly with, and if I didn't, sit down with you for 15 minutes every week and talk about my choices and what I was doing, she goes, this would never be working like this. She goes, I've tried to lose weight 1,000 times. I lose 10 pounds, I gain it back. I lose this, I gain it back. She's down over 20 now in like 2.5 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because every week she knows she has to come and see me and weigh in. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, like, oh, shoot, it's just that accountability. It makes you think before you act just a little bit more, knowing that you've got to come in and check in with somebody.
It's like we call it accountability buddies.
Yeah.
So that support and then the accountability. And the accountability comes from the coaches. And our coaches, as you can see, Mellisa is one of our coaches. She's the manager, but she also coaches as well. They walk the walk. We walk the walk and we do it. Juanita, one of our coaches.
She's awesome.
Isn't she awesome? She's down 40 pounds. 67 years old, can hold a 4-minute plank.
She's down. She had to go buy pants the other day. Someone at her salsa class grabbed a hold of her pants and goes, I think it's time for some new ones. She bought a size 6.
Yeah, that's amazing. Size 6. That's awesome. And when she started, I think she was like a 14.
Yeah.
And that's been over 3 years.
Yeah.
So when we talk, and that's what we want people to see so badly, is when we talk about our women at Curves losing weight, they're keeping it off.
Yes.
They're not losing weight and gaining it back. If you've tried programs in the past where you lose and gain and you think those programs work, they don't.
No.
It only works if you have kept the weight off. If you have lost and gained on programs and you keep doing the same thing, it's not working, and it's not working because you're missing pieces of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, for sure.
You can get pieces of there's places that offer each piece. And you can get those different pieces in different places, but then there's the time issue.
Yes. Because that's like when you try to get me to come to Curves before I was even working there. Come on, just come to Curves. I was like, I don't have time for that. I have all these little kids
You had a
running
daycare
around.
in your house.
I know. And I had 3 of my own. I'm like, I do not have time to work out. Well, the funny thing is you do. If you have time to sit and watch TV, or if you have time to just kind of do whatever, you have time. It's 30 minutes. Our workout is so simple and easy, and especially for people that are like kind of like fried at the end of the day, and that's the last thing you want to think about.
Right.
Ours is already planned out. You know, it is specifically designed to work every muscle group, and that is just what is so awesome. You know, you can just go in there and you don't even have to think about, am I going to work my legs? Am I going to work my arms? Am I going to do my core? Well, guess what? We're going to do it all.
We're going to do it all.
And
You're
we're
going to
do
get
it in 30
your
minutes,
in a
and
half
we're going to
hour.
get you out the door.
Strength training and aerobic at the same time, because with the hydraulic equipment, the faster you go, the more resistance you're going to build up, right? The slower you go, the less resistance you're going to build up. So your goal is to work as hard as fast as you can. Everyone is at a different level. That's why women of all ages, all shapes, and all sizes can do our workout and do it well, because you are competing with yourself. And we know what that is. We have Curve Smart, which are computers that are installed on each machine, and it remembers your workout. It remembers every workout that you've ever done, and it knows if you're getting stronger. It recognizes even if you're doing 1 rep more than the last time, and then it increases so that you can start to work a little bit harder. It's like that little personal coach.
Exactly. I kind of tell the girls, I'm like, it's like a love-hate relationship you're going to build with your key tag, because it is your personal trainer. So, you know, it's getting excited and it blinks really fast and bright green when you're doing really well. And then other times it's like yellow and red and you're just like, oh my gosh, I cannot make this machine go any faster. But that's okay. Because if we constantly got greens, we wouldn't push so hard.
Right. And it's not that it's not that you have to be perfect every day.
No.
You know, I always have yellows. But keep in mind, generally, I've ran that morning, so my muscles are a little more tired, and I'm just, doing the best that I can. So if you're tired on a day, you might not get green. The goal is to get green, but yellow's not bad.
No.
It just says, hey, you could work a little harder, so you just keep pushing to be harder, but that accountability. And then what I love most about the Curve Smart is that I get to see how many calories.
Oh, I know.
At the end of the workout, I put my tag in there, and now I know how many calories I just burned.
Yeah.
And that is cool.
Especially, like I said this morning when I was justifying that pumpkin spice latte. I'm like, no, I know what it takes to have to burn that off. There's absolutely no way. But yeah, I burn about 400.
Yeah, you do really good. I usually burn about 300. But like I said, I'm usually working out after I've already ran that morning. Yeah. So it's hard. Your muscles are tired. So it depends on what you're, everybody's going to be a little different.
200 to 700 is usually our average. And I've burnt 700. I mean, you can do it.
When you do your power classes, all the ladies burn more calories.
When I'm on a mission, I can burn a lot more, and I didn't spend any more time doing it, which is kind of what I like to do. My goal, just personally, is how many calories can I burn, because I only have 30 minutes to do it. And so I just try to work as hard as I possibly can. And on days where I'm just quite not feeling it, I still work out, maybe just not as hard, but I'm lapping everybody that stayed home.
Yes.
You know.
And working out is very important, but we cannot out-exercise a bad diet.
No.
I love to say that's my favorite line. And so that's where the nutrition comes in.
Yeah.
And I think if there's one thing for sure that separates Curves from a traditional gym, it's our weight management program. It's our Curves Complete program, the online meal planning program that we have available with all those recipes, and you can create your whole meal for the week. I mean, it's just amazing. And then you don't have to think about it. And the coaches, you can do one-on-one coaching. You can do it weekly, or you can do it just monthly, depending on what. And you guys hold them accountable and make sure that they're doing their meal planning and meal prepping for the week.
That they're eating just in general, because everything we've always learned is just calorie restriction.
Right.
And we are going to restrict calories in a way, but we're going to do it well. You know, we're going to fire up their metabolism, having them eat 5 times a day and the right combinations of food. And with our meal plan, they don't really have to think about it too much. It just kind of does the work for them. It gives them all these suggestions, ideas. It's got a carb, fat, protein balance all in there. It does all the work. You just have to eat it.
Right.
You know,
that's the thing. Food is not the enemy.
No.
You have to eat. You got to eat to lose. And don't you find, Melissa, that when we talk to the ladies, one of the biggest things is they're not eating breakfast a lot of times. That's one big thing I hear.
Yep. They're not eating breakfast, or they don't even eat in general till like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then they're like, I'm so hungry. So then I just ate this giant meal. Well, now I feel terrible, so I'm not going to eat for the rest of the day. No, that's like the worst thing you could do. I want you to eat again in like 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't have to be something major. It could be a string cheese stick.
Sure.
You know, and then I want you to get again in 2 to 3 hours.
And that keeps your blood sugar levels balanced out, which we now know based on research that that helps when it comes to losing weight. Makes it a little bit easier for your body to shed the weight. Because when your blood sugars are balanced out, you don't have your pancreas, those hormones producing insulin, and those insulin producing hormones are fat storing hormones.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for your body to burn fat and store fat at the same time. So you have to keep your blood sugars balanced, and a natural way of doing that is eating often and making sure that you are getting the right balance of foods.
For sure.
And I just want to mention this too, because this is so important. And our weight management program, our Curves Complete, has been certified through Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah, it's not just something that we came up with.
Right. And it's been studied. Cleveland Clinic is the #1 cardiac hospital in our country. They're the #2 hospital behind Mayo Clinic. They house over 30,000 employees and some of the best cardiologists in the world. And they did research and studied our Curves program for over 3 years. And you can find that research online, and it's just really impressive, you know, why Curves works and why our weight management program, it truly is the best on the market, because it's not a diet. You know, it's not a diet. It's a way to live. It's a healthy, we teach you what does it mean to eat healthy. There's a difference. There's lots of fad diets that you can go on, right?
Oh, for sure. And everyone's going to lose weight on those fad diets, but like we talk about, they're not going to keep it off.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
It's temporary. I've not met anyone yet let's see, I've been with Curves now for 22 years, and I've never met anyone who has done a fad diet, lost the weight, and kept it off long term.
Yeah.
Not yet. So maybe, but it's going to be rare.
Well, I was a fad diet. Oh my gosh, you name it, I tried it in the beginning, you know, before I came to Curves. You know, we asked the question, what have you tried for diet and exercise in the past? And I'm like, how big of a spot do you have? You know, because I was one of those people that would stand at the counter at the store and be like, okay, which, you know, magic pill am I going to try this time? Or, you know, look up the military diet or this diet. And, like, you can have
the soup diet. Remember the soup diet?
The cabbage soup diet.
The cabbage soup diet.
And I'm like,
you're going to lose weight, all right, because you're going to be in the bathroom for a while.
It's terrible. It's terrible. You know, I just want people to realize that they can eat 5 times a day, 6 times a day. It just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And lose weight. I mean, our girls are losing at least 1 pound to 2 pounds a week.
You know, you can eat, there are free foods that you can eat.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to actually talk about that at our group coaching next week. I'm going to be teaching the ladies how they can incorporate all these free foods over the holidays to help them feel, you know, fuller. So when you are full, it's very difficult to overeat the bad stuff.
Yes.
And speaking of group coaching, you need education. You need the right information. And we do weekly group coaching at Curves. In fact, I lead that every Monday and Wednesday. So you have 2 opportunities to come to the class. It's included in your membership. Even if you just do a fitness membership, we want to still educate you, because at some point you may wake up and decide, today's the day I'm going to start eating well.
Yeah.
If you get the exercise part worked out, you know you need to get the eating, because eating is 85% of our weight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's the bottom line. Whatever you weigh, the exercise is a very small portion of it, which is why when you just have a gym membership, if you need to lose weight, you're missing a ton of the pieces of the puzzle. And so if you're exercising like a crazy person and you're not losing weight, it's not your fault. There's really nothing wrong with you. It's just that you got to get the calories in check. You've got to get your eating in check. Eat often, know how many calories you're burning, and start getting in line with that.
Oh, for sure. And it might not even be that you're eating over. You could be eating under.
Oh, very good point, Mellisa.
You know, I mean, some of these people think, well, I'm only eating 900 or 800 calories. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you still standing? How about you eat 1,700 and you're going to drop 2 pounds a week? And they look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think about Lori. Lori, one of the ladies that I coach, she's lost weight. And when she first started, she's like, I can't eat all this food. She's like, I'm not eating all this food. I don't eat that much. I can't even imagine eating that much. And I was like, well, this is what we'll have to do in order for you to see results. And so this is rare. Don't get overexcited, but she started eating more and started losing weight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, one of our girls, Amy, she was working out like crazy. She was doing some of the fun dance classes on the side, and she was starting to run with I've decided to run.
Right.
And she was dropping weight. Well, then all of a sudden she just stopped, and then she started gaining weight. And she looks at me and she goes, what is going on? She goes, I've gained 4 pounds in 2 weeks. I can't work out anymore. And I told her, well, I want you to take your calories up to 2,000 calories a day.
She was working out so much.
She lost 4 pounds in a week and then just started pummeling off after that.
That's because, really quick, let me explain. What happens is your body will go into what's called a starvation mode. That is the thermic effect of food causes that to happen. So when you reduce your calories so low, restrict them so much lower than you actually need. So your body needs a certain amount of energy based on what you're doing. And you have a little playroom where you can restrict those calories so that you can lose weight. But if you restrict them too low, because the thermic effect of food, your metabolism will start to naturally slow down. It goes into like a survival mode. And that is why it happens that if you're not eating enough, you will not lose weight. It's so important. We have a special right now. I want to just really quick tell you about it. If you are ready to stick the stake in the ground and you want to get in a place where we have all the pieces of the puzzle that you need, you want to work out with me and Mellisa, see us on a regular basis, we'd love to have you there. You can join right now. 2 months for only $99.
I know.
You can come in for 2 months for $99, no obligation. If you don't like it after 2 months, you don't have to come back. We'll put the link in the comments on this show so that you can click on there and get registered. Thanks, Mellisa.
You're
welcome. It's been a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll be back with you next Wednesday with Synergy. Dr. Christy Durbin is going to be a good one.
Oh, she's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.